Hello, I'm Kumar from Sri Lanka. I'm a professional tutor on CIMA case studies, and I've been doing these case studies for almost 13 years now from the time of Top CIMA, and I offer online tuition at very affordable rates. If any of you all want any tuition, you can contact me on +9477321938 on WhatsApp, or you can get me on email learnwithkumar5 Soon I will be having my website learnwithkumar.com, and this video is all about very important topic on the CIMA management case study Alpaca Hotel about financial reporting. I believe this year it's going to be a very, very important one, particularly after post-COVID-19 scenario. The shareholders, the stakeholders will be very, very keen to know the company's strategies, company's commitments, the revenue losses, revenue gains, all kinds of things in the financial reporting. So I believe the examiner will have some kind of a variant on this matter. This is why I thought I'll prepare this report, this video clipping, and if you're happy with this one, just subscribe on my YouTube channel. So thank you very much, and let's start off with that one. So the Alpaca shareholders and the stakeholders, they are the people who will be using our financial statements. The effects of the company's solvency, profitability, and strategy due to COVID-19. Hotel sector is one of the worst affected areas in this COVID-19 scenario. So the shareholders and the stakeholders would expect us to report about the effects of this one, about the profitability. Most of the hotels would have been zero occupancy because there were lockdowns, and so that scenario is also a possibility. The level of details that you require, there is no sort of a kind of standard format, but it will depend on the surroundings, because we are to be very transparent in providing information. I want to draw your attention that our financial statements are 31st December 2019. So most probably the corona effects took place after 31st December 2019. So there would not have been time for them to do any adjustments for financial statements, because corona was not really there in a material way as at 31st December 2019. So IAS 10 reporting after events after reporting day, I suppose it may not apply to a great extent, but the IAS 34 interim financial statements, a standard which we don't give too much of attention, might come to the forefront in the management case study. So if you know these things, you might be able to have a you will have an advantage over the other students, whenever they write about these scenarios. So under IAS 34, a standard which we don't take too much of notice, interim financial reporting, entity shall include in its interim financial reporting an explanation of events and transactions that are significant to understanding of the changes in financial position and performance of the entity since the end of the last annual reporting period. Now, this is what I believe will apply to Alpaca Group, because our financial statements are 31st December 2019. If our financial statements are 31st March 2020, it would have been most likely IAS 10 scenario. But we probably by August, we will be reporting on an interim basis and under IAS 34. So clearly, the stakeholders will want to know the impact of COVID, and it will be very significant for a hotel, for 50 hotels that we process, and we need to be fully transparent explaining scenario. So this is why I thought I'll talk about this topic, and I put up few things for you all to note down, which are taken from some of the readings which I done in the recent past, which are very useful. So hopefully this will be a very, very important one for you all too. So 2020 interim reporting, maybe the half month, half yearly, quarterly, will be the period alpaca. The impacts of COVID-19 will be measured and recognized on assets, liabilities, income, and expenditure. So stakeholders definitely would expect more information than usual in the normal interim financial report. This is a very special scenario. COVID-19 is something which, never expected, suddenly came up, and it has impacted almost every business in a big way. And so the shareholders, the stakeholders would like to know much more than we would have provided. So as the finance manager in Alpaca Group, this will be one of your key responsibilities. Investors and other users will want to understand the specific impact on assets, liabilities, income, and expenditure. Also, you need to be mindful of IAS 8, which says the amount of change in estimate that has a material effect on the current period or expected to have a material effect in subsequent period. So this is also about the IAS 8 part of it, about the measurement and then any changes in estimates what we have made in preparation of 31st December 2019 financial statement. So we need to assess, as the finance manager, you need to assess whether the impact have triggered any impairment assessment. Maybe that the forecasted revenues are not coming and some of the asset values would have come down drastically if you have gone on earnings basis or whatever. So then the impact on cash flows, very important, because the important scenario at this moment of time is, as I say, cash, cost, and customer. So as being a listed company, we will be reporting under IFRS IFRSs. So we need to assess the expected credit losses that will be incurred, because some of the travel agents who have to pay us, they might go bankrupt, they might not be able to settle us, and that can have an impact upon us. There may be some corporate customers to whom we are given credit during this period, because in the financial statements there are some receivables. So recognize credit losses and provisions that what we need to be providing for expected non-recoverable of receivables. So this is all the attention that you need to give in the financial statement. Obviously, all the boards at this moment of time, they are basically thinking about survival, about the impact what's going to have on the staff, supply chains, and to how to keep the minimum occupancy levels or the revenue. Those are the areas that the boards will be focusing right just now. And the mirror image of that is the shareholders also will be now not talking about what kind of growth strategies you are going to have. They will be also wanting to know about the survival cash flows, solvency, rather than growth. In normal times, they will be talking about growth. So this is a change in the reporting expectations. So as a listed company, we need to tell the users about the effects on the strategy, right? So we would have had certain strategies, because by November 2019, October 2019, no one ever thought about such a kind of a disaster. So there would have been a lot of plans and lot of strategies, which you may even have reported on the 31st December with the financial statements and with your annual report kind of thing. So many of those things would have got changed. Some other things may be temporary, some other changes may be very permanent. The changes in the business model, because the hotels will have to think of totally a different business model. many people may not want to come and spend holidays in the hotels. They'll be much more focused about safety. So your changes need to be discussed and reported, and this will be your role in the financial reporting. We should try to consider explaining whether the crisis has accelerated or delayed existing plans and strategic progress. Sure, many of our strategic plans will get delayed, but there may be certain things which might even get accelerated because the government in some countries, I know in my own country, Sri Lanka, they're using some of these hotels as quarantine centers where the people who come from abroad has to pay a fair amount of money and stay in the hotel compulsory 14 days. So there may be certain positive changes that can come up. And also about any capital expenditure plans that we are cancelled or delayed to save cash. It may be something temporary, but what about the long-term repercussions of that one when the crisis abates, right? One day, many optimistic people think that it will very soon be over. In that case, all the temporary plans, what we have halted, what will be the impact upon that one? Then also about any new capital expenditure that we will require, because there will be many safety measures that the hotels will have to adopt, like putting up thermometers and all kinds of things, and also about staff, because they will be working from home. So the kind of investments in technology, all that kind of things also will need to be looked at in new capital expenditure, which will have an impact upon cash flow. Increased level of remote working and high staff absence may have an impact upon your internal controls, because you're not going to have the 100% staff or the segregation of duties, and some of these people will have to take decisions at remote levels. So you might not get all these things. So internal control systems could become weaker. So again, we need to address that kind of thing. What are the trends and factors which is likely to affect the company's future performance? Particularly the tourism might have a massive impact. Many people may not want to fly. I know a lot of airlines, the flights are getting cancelled. So hotels may not have that kind of occupants. Travel agents and all these online booking may not happen. So we need to discuss the effects on the company's markets, the resulting effect on the company. So you can see it's all about your performance, it's all about the assets, liabilities, and cash flows almost. Some of the government initiatives, government has given certain subsidized loans kind of thing in Sri Lanka. I saw they are giving it at 4% interest to revive some of these industries. So those things may be very temporary, and your financials may have got cushioned off, and even your profitability statements probably is doing well, because if I look at my home country, Sri Lanka, the quarantine centers, hotels being used as quarantine centers, they probably have 100% occupancy at this moment of time. But are they sustainable? How long this can happen? And then when those things are not there, what will happen to your cash flows? So addressing risk and uncertainties are going to be a key area given COVID-19 crisis. So for example, direct income effects due to sudden cancellations of bookings. There will be many cancellations. Bans on operations. The governments have put certain bans. You can't get more than 100 people for an event, 200 people for an event. So all those things are going to have an impact upon your cash flows, etc. And there can be delayed receipt from debtors, or even possible loss of access to borrowing facilities. Some of the borrowing facilities that we arranged earlier, now the bankers or the lenders may be reluctant to release it in the present scenario of the hotel industry. actions and strategies adopted to mitigate the risk. So what are the actions that the board of directors have taken, and the effectiveness of these need to be reported. So my thinking is financial reporting is going to be a very, very key factor to keep your share prices at reasonable levels, to give the confidence. It will be this financial report that will matter. So this is why I think in the August 2020, you will have some kind of a testing on this area, and I strongly believe these slides will be a very, very important for any student. So please share it with your fellow students and try to work it through. Also, I want to talk about IAS 37, recognition of provisions. So we know, according to IAS 37, for a provision to be recognized, there has to be a present obligation, legal or constructive. So, as at the reporting date, and probable that the company will have an outflow of economic benefit, and the amount of the obligation can be estimated reliably. That's what we call a provision. We are not exactly sure of the timing, we are not exactly sure of the amount, but we have a reasonable certainty of the amount, and it has to be a present obligation. So, you as the finance manager will be somewhat pressurized by some of the directors, maybe, that future operating losses, what is going to, now your budgets will show operating losses to provide for those things. Now you need to be mindful. IAS 37 specifically prohibit, we can't make for future losses because there is no present obligation. We need to look at any contracts which become onerous. We may have signed a contract with a particular travel agent to sell certain number of rooms during summer season, and you might find that you are unable to perform that due to this reason. So there may be force majeure situation arising, but there may be even penalty. So in that case, IAS 37 gives us certain way to provide for it, and we need to be looking the penalties, or if we continue the losses, and then we have to decide the lower of the two amounts we need to provide it. So hotel, maybe during this lockdown period, maybe zero occupancy, reduced demand, non-availability of working force, depreciation, but still for all, with all that, you need to remember depreciation need to be recognized. You can't say that the hotel is in not operation and therefore there is no depreciation. IAS 16 very clearly says provision for depreciation need to be done. Our management may discuss with existing lenders any changes in debt covenants, because if you there may be certain debt covenants which may get breached. So you need to discuss. If they agree, well and truly good enough. But if they don't agree, then we might have to disclose those things and provide for certain things, because certain of the liabilities which we have shown as non-current could become current the moment they say you're going to breach, and if they don't agree for any kind of modifications of the covenants, etc. Insurance. Most of the hotels may have insured for loss of business. We know that they take fire policies and loss of profits and all that kind of thing. So they have to look at and see whether there are any payout possible from any of those policies which we have taken. And if so, we need to be careful again. Policy gains should be only recognized if it is almost probable that we are going to get it. Any which is not considered resolved, any payout virtually not certain, then we can't recognize that one. So prior to this, the policy is likely to be only disclosed as a contingent asset, where an inflow of economic benefits. So we know contingent assets are not recognized, only it's disclosed. So that's what it is. Contingent liabilities, we don't recognize, we disclose it. Assets, we disclose it if the economic benefit is considered probable. So we need to look at all that kind of thing before we think of our reporting. So these are some of the challenges you might have. I'm even thinking the examiner might give you a question where there are a couple of scenarios they give and ask you whether, should be provided, should be reported, all that kind of thing. Customer contract revenue. Now you may have signed so many number of rooms for the October to December season time. Now we have to look at whether we are in a position to perform the obligation. So IFRS 15 comes into the scenario, and we might have to think whether the revenue, whether we could recognize, or whether we should show it as a liability. Because some of those monies we may have to repay back. Revenue may be recognized only if collection of the consideration that the alpaca is entitled to under the contract is probable. So IFRS 15 says very clearly we cannot recognize every revenue. There has to be a contract, and that if there's a probability of money coming in, then we can. So just because we have so many hotels, so many rooms booked up, now these are some of the pressures that might come from various quarters for you in preparing financial statements, maybe for half a year, because there may be certain kind of pressure to put up a good picture, because companies want to show something, or maybe they are opposite also. But whatever it may be, it's your responsibility to ensure that you fall in line with CIMA Code of Ethics, integrity, objectivity, professional competence, professional behavior, and of course confidentiality. So all these things matters when it comes for financial reporting. So these few slides I believe will be very, very useful. You can share with your colleagues, discuss these matters, deliberate. I have just given an outline, but you need to go into areas like IS 37 and discuss it and know exactly what your thinking should be. So thank you very much for watching this video, and if you are interested in online studies with me, I'm always available. Group studies or individual studies at very affordable rates. My Facebook page is Learn with Kumar. There are a couple of videos I have put it down in the YouTube. Again, Learn with Kumar. And very soon I will have my website, learnwithkumar.com. And if anyone is keen, just give me a call on WhatsApp, or you can chat with me on WhatsApp. Even if you are not going for tuition, don't worry. If you need any clarification on any matters on the management case study, just be in touch with me. And I'll be doing some on the strategic case study also, and share those and tell your colleagues too. So thank you very much, and God bless all of you.